All right, Big Bang. Today is Thursday. It is September 18th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Today I'm joined in studio by Jason Belkey. You know him better as Mr. Handpay on YouTube. Jason, welcome in.
I appreciate you having me here.
I'm excited to have you. So I met Jason, 2-3 weeks ago at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. We played in that DraftKings poker tournament, and just being a guy who likes to go to the casino, likes to play slots, likes to play table games, likes to kind of do it all. We had I think a good conversation out of the gate just about the casino business, we should say. So it was a no-brainer to have you in, so I'm excited to get into it.
I appreciate it. And we talked about this earlier, but this is my first podcast that I've ever been on. So I'm a little bit nervous.
No, don't be nervous.
But, I go live all the time. It's like riding a bike. So I'm sure I'm going to be fine, yeah.
You'll be great. Hey, guys, before we get into today's episode, I want to talk about my friends at Game Time. There's nothing like a crisp fall night at the ballpark, but trying to get there, it's brutal. You're stuck in a queue, prices jump at checkout, you're logged out mid-click. All you want to be is in the stands with a beer in hand, yelling with the crowd, while the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust you'll get 100% authentic MLB tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. I was looking at tickets. Cubs last week of the season next week. So that means really now's your time to jump on it, because obviously playoff tickets will be a little bit more expensive, which I also obviously suggest getting your Cubs playoff tickets on Game Time. But they got the Mets series Tuesday through Thursday. I'm seeing $22, $23, $25. Cardinals series in the weekend, $38, $78, $48. A lot of good prices there. Get your Wrigley fix in before you can't. So go do that. Go grab those tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Is there a is there a reason that spun you into this? How did you get into being a YouTuber and a gambling influencer?
So I always loved to gamble, and it was my escape from the world. So since I was 16, I owned an asphalt paving, concrete, landscape, snow removal business, and it can get pretty stressful. So I would go to the casino, I would put earbuds in, put a hat on, and just gamble, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I love to play Blackjack. Just my way to get away from everything. And I started to watch some of these other influencers online in, 2016, 17, 18, 19, right? And finally I was like, I think I can do this, but I can do it better. And not being cocky at all, right?
Yeah.
And I have moved into, if you from a subscriber standpoint, third most subscribers on YouTube for a gambling influencer in under 4 years. We have just been on a rocket ship, and it's just been absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. So what made you going from headphones to being an influencer is quite the change, though. Was it tough? Did you find? Because I always find that the hardest thing is making content at casinos is they typically don't want that. Yeah. They don't want you filming. Everyone knows you go to a blackjack table, you take your phone out. They can't swat that out of your hand fast enough. So how did you build these relationships? Was it through just having a high status card kind of thing, or how did that work?
There you go. So that was my in with a lot of these casinos, especially with Foxwoods, right? And I owe all the credit in the world to Chris Bailey, who is a VP of, Ed Carlson is the VP of player development at Foxwoods. And then Chris Bailey is a VP host there at Foxwoods. And they believed in me from the beginning. But here's the thing, I'll go to a casino and I can win or lose $100,000 in a day at times. So it would be silly for a casino to say, no, we're not going to let you record. They're going to let me go in there. They're going to let me record, because more than likely I'm going to lose at the end of the day. But the one thing that I've been very good at, because at first, I can be negative at times, and someone was like, hey, just be positive. People will gravitate towards positivity. And I've really done that with my channel. If you watch me, there's times I'm down 100, 150,000 and it hurts. But I put a smile on, and realize that I'm going to be back to live another day and to play tomorrow, and I'm okay with it.
That's good to know, because you watch people like you and you see these astronomical numbers too, pretty much everyone in the country. And you do wonder, like, at what point does it bother this person, so that you're kind of playing through the tiers a little bit? I think that will help people realize like what you're going through too,
Well, in my head, like, I'm very good at math. I was an econ major in college.
Yeah.
Health promotion minor, which you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me. But the thing is, I look at my losses, like when I'm like, man, I just lost. I mean, I've had it where I was like, I'm down 150,000. I was going to remodel my kitchen. That could have paid for my kitchen. Instead, I donked off some money on this machine for the last hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Does that really make sense? But here's the way that I look at it, right? I have a budget for gambling somewhat. Gambling is my cost of goods sold, right? Like, that is my product. It's not like, and this is the most important thing, like, if I had a cooking channel, I just have to go to the grocery store, spend $100 on some groceries, and I can go cook some food and get 5 million views, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I have to gamble. And casinos are not giving me the money to do this. Yeah. So, I mean, I have put a video out recently where I did talk about online casinos and the deception that is created in there. And we can save that for another day. But real casinos, they have to follow regulation within their gaming commission, state regulations. There's a lot of things. They can't just give you money to play, because you would screw up the return to player from a casino wide. You just can't do that. So it is all real money that you have to play in these casinos.
That's probably one of the top questions you get, I'd imagine.
Well, I hear it all the time, and people are putting on our comments like, Foxwoods or Yamava, they're paying you to, or even down the road, Rivers here, right? They're paying you to do this content. Here's an interesting thing. I used to play in Milwaukee, right? I don't go to that casino anymore. The reason is there can be no competing casino in like 45 miles, or the state has to subsidize that casino's losses, right? Their own CEO told me they have a monopoly. So I stay far away from there. Why? Because there's no transparency with return to player. This is the most important thing. Wisconsin states that you have to pay between 80 and 100% return to player. So just say it's 80%. Every time you put $100 in the machine, you get $80 back on average, right? In the short term, it can be much different. So the cool thing in Chicago and Illinois, they have to disclose what the return to player is at these casinos. It's always right next to the cashier. And usually when a casino just opens up, it's going to be very high. And then they sort of,
whittle it down.
It'll go down at some point, right? They just want to be big off the gate, and try to get people in there. Mm-hmm. But it's very important for me to play at casinos that have a high return to player, because I can play a little bit longer at the end of the day.
So what's the largest return to player you've seen?
So it can be skewed.
Okay.
If you start to include like video poker, because sometimes video poker will pay over 100% return to player.
How does that make sense?
They'll advertise it's 100%, or it might be a little bit more than that, right? But it doesn't mean in the short term that you're gonna. Mm-hmm. It's just on the payouts how they determine that. So if they have a lot of video poker, they can have a higher return to player. But around Chicago, like Bally's is like 85% from what I saw last time. Hard Rock is pretty low. It might be 86 or 88, somewhere in there. I think Rivers is right around 90, 91%.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the worst you've seen?
Oh, like that Bally's 85%.
Yeah.
You can feel it in the play.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in Vegas. So if you want to go to Vegas, everyone's like, when are you going to Vegas next? Never. I don't go to Vegas often. Why? You're paying for that property in a reduced return to player. You're paying for that real estate. Mm-hmm. And that's how they're doing it. Or worse, blackjack rules, right? It's very difficult to get very good blackjack rules too in those places. So I go to places where I stand a chance to win. The cool thing about Foxwoods says winners make players. And they do. You win something big, you're going to keep coming back.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. So that's interesting. And I would say 99% of the people that go to the casino don't realize that return, right? I don't think anyone really looks at that.
They don't even look at that stuff, no.
So that you just kind of go in, you go in with a a prayer and a, a dream, right? And then you
Yeah.
think like, hey, today's the day or today isn't the day. Usually isn't the day. But I don't think people look at the odds, or in that case, it's not even odds. It's just kind of whatever they arbitrarily set it at, right? Because I just don't think people know. Like, I think people are obviously aware that slots need to pay out a certain amount or else people won't play them. But it's kind of interesting that there is a set number that they tell you out of the gate.
Well, and that is over the long run. And so here's something that's interesting too. Like, I'll have people that'll chase me. If I go and I lose 20 or 50 or 100,000 or even 10,000 in a machine, they think that they can jump on it right after me and take the money out that I just put into it. That's not the way slots work. So every time you take a spin on a slot machine, there is a random number generator that is continuously changing. And I want you to realize, if you cough, wipe your face, do whatever, before you push that button, it changes the outcome of that spin.
Really?
Every single time. It's not like when you get into a bonus game, this is important. When you get in a bonus game and just say you're on like, would it be dancing drums and the pot closes, okay? And you have to pick, and you've got a mini and a minor and whatever. Mm-hmm. And you're like, dang it, if I would have picked this one, I probably would have won the grand. No. In a bonus round, it is like dealing cards off the top of a deck, okay? But your spins, every spin is a random event, and past outcomes do not affect future results. For the most part, right? There's all different things. There's advantage games or hit by progressives that have to hit by a certain point, or games that are in bonus or about to bonus. I mean, we could have a whole podcast just talking about the ins and outs of slots and how to make money. But people need to realize that just because I put money in does not mean you're going to get it out, because you could still lose. And there's no cycles either in machines. It feels like it. It feels like, oh, I got 5 bonus rounds in the last 7 minutes. It's going to keep up. This is amazing. It's not a cycle. It's just you're lucky when you push that button.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
And because there's no illusion of, because I get into this all the time. I was just in Vegas last weekend and I did the same thing. You walk past a slot, you see the pot of gold is filled to the brim and it's shaking, and it's like, all right, like, I'm gonna sit down and play this because I think this thing's gonna pop soon. So there's nothing to believe. There's no reason to believe that that's true, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't care if the firecrackers are all lit up. I don't care if the pots are almost full. If a balloon is ready to pop, if a pig is big and fat, it could matter on a certain game. Mm-hmm. There's different things, but for most of the games, and you'll know this, if you change the individual denomination and the bet amount and the pot sizes do not change, they do not matter.
Okay.
But there's a game, just a lot of people that play might know a game called Rich Little Piggies, right? Every time you get a blue coin, it'll pop up and the pig will eat it, and it could add to the games, okay? So it starts at like 9, right? If that gets over like 15, I'm going to play it until it pops. And if I can get the blue with the gold, I have an opportunity to win all the progressives too. And you can get that up to 60 or 70 games, which people have seen. That is a game that is about to bonus, and you want to play it until you get to the end.
So you really kind of got to know these games too.
Yeah, and people are like, how do you know? Well, this is what I do.
Yeah, you just experience and knowledge. Like that's
yeah, it's trial and error. And there's people that sell different like classes online, and they'll have everything printed out with every advantage game and what you would like how many spins you would take until it gets to a certain point. I mean, I'll tell you this. I know this for a fact. I know this from people at Potawatomi. I know this from people at other casinos around the country. I could show you how to make $100,000 to $250,000 a year just playing slot machines. If you play advantage slot machines, advantage games, it's boring. You're going to spend 8 hours a day on your feet walking around, and a lot of times you're not playing more than you are, and you have to be very disciplined.
So if someone didn't want to go through all the knowledge and they didn't want to study these games and know all this, and they walked into a casino, they looked at the casino floor, what is their best route to kind of be plus, be up at the end of the day?
Probably turn around and walk out. I mean, that's probably the best thing you could do. So honestly, your best odds are going to be playing blackjack, unfortunately, right? With slots, the shorter amount of time you play, the better off you're going to be, because the longer you play, the worse your odds are going to get. Because just think about that. Every time you put in $100 and there's an 80%, right, return to player. So I put in 100, I get back 80. I put in 80 and they take another $16 out. And they just keep taking 20% every time that you cycle through that money. There's nothing left real quick.
Mm-hmm. So, but even with blackjack, though, that's the same thing, right? Like
it's 50-50.
Yeah, but the longer you play, the odds are against you, right?
Unless you're counting.
Yeah, but I don't know how to fucking count. You know how to count?
Yeah, I do, and I don't do it because all of my play is recorded and people would know. Mm-hmm. But the way you have an advantage, okay? So you want to play like a blackjack game that the dealer stays on soft 17. Because if they have like an ace-6, you want them to stay, right? Because the more they hit, it's not great for you. I want a game that I can resplit aces to 4 hands. I want a game that has hand shuffle. I mean, you like to see where they're not cutting a lot of the deck, where you don't have a lot of cards left at the end, so you would sort of know what cards are left, right? We want a game that we can surrender, 3-2 for blackjack, obviously, right?
But that's pretty hard to find.
Well, here's the thing. If there's more 10s left in the deck, you have an advantage over the casino, especially if you can play 3 hands. So if there's a high count, right, and you can count like there's a +1 and -1 for every time a card comes out. And you guys can look at the different ways to count online. But if there's a high count saying there's a lot of 10s left, you want to increase your bet, because the chances of you getting more 10s are better. And then you sort of have an idea of what else is left out there. So you can make money playing blackjack as well. If you're a professional, if you're a card counter, there are some blackjack channels. I think there's a girl, I think it's like Blackjack Advisors or something. She does a lot of card counting with, I think, meta glasses.
Okay.
And it's a lot of undercover stuff.
Yeah. So people don't know.
It makes a lot of money, dude.
They're going to be hawking those soon, those meta glasses. Right? I assume so, because I've been seeing that more and more. People wearing, I mean, especially at casinos, are going to be.
I even saw it at Rivers, and I sent it to the guy. I was like, hey, this guy is recording at your casino? Because I know how weird they are about recording there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, thank you. We're going to look into that. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, like, who cares if people are recording? But you got to get permission, right? But most important thing, and I know we're jumping around here, like, you have to get permission from the gaming commission for this stuff. You just can't do that. And then, like, a lot of employees might not want to be on camera.
Yeah.
And people aren't taking that into
kind
consideration.
Of abiding by that,
yeah.
What was, so if you do split up your play, like, how would you say? What are you, like 80% slots, 20%? Like, what are you?
95% slots.
Okay.
And I am playing what you want to see. Everybody wants to see slots, right? So we have a separate channel. We just started the Felt Life, which it's getting decent views. Video that actually just came out yesterday. I was with 2019 Playboy Playmate of the Year, Jordan Emanuel. She was playing blackjack with me, and we ended up winning a bunch of money in that session. A couple sessions with her, we won about $50,000.
There you go.
But what we've noticed is, like, if people are watching slots, it doesn't mean they're going to watch blackjack. So the days blackjack videos came out, our views would tank, and you can that's all public information. You can see that online. So we have now separated, so we have 2 different channels. So every single day we're putting out a video at, I think it's 4:00 Central Time on Mr. Handpay. And the videos are always at least a half an hour, sometimes up to 2 hours long. Why are they different? Because I don't just stop when I lose an amount of money or whatever. I want to tell a story at the end of every video.
And so slots are what? That's your bread and butter. That's where people are watching for you.
Yeah, and really, I think a lot of people are watching because they want to see what the potential is on these games, right? And they like to see the wins, and there are people that want to see me lose.
Really?
I show it all.
Yeah, of course. It's kind of funny too, because if you talk to, I don't know, like people my age, guys and stuff, they'll be like, "Oh, like we don't play slots. It's just you play table games, right?" And then I have one friend who really strayed away from that. We call him Frogger, because we get in a casino and he just jumps from slot to slot to slot, and you won't see him for the next 4 hours, And sometimes it's like, dude, just play, hop on the table with us, like, relax. But I never thought I'd see the day. I've kind of turned probably in the last 6 months, I've been hitting more slots. So I now get the appeal.
Yeah.
For sure. And what is the take from these casinos on slots is tremendously higher than it is from table games, right?
Well, it's a guarantee for them. With table games, you'll see like there'll be $1 million line of credit players or $5 million line of credit players that a lot of casinos will shy away from because that person could ruin their month at that casino. But at the same time, if someone wants to come in there and play Dragon Link and play $2,500 a spin, yeah, they could have $1.5 million liability, $1.5 million liability on a single spin. But in the long run, they know they're going to win. They know what the return to player is. They know what it's going to average out to be at the end.
People are playing $2,500.
I played up to $5,000 on a single spin on an old school 3-reel. So my biggest win,
good God, dude,
was playing Huff and Even More Puff. Okay, where it's got the 2 wheels on top and you get the howl, right? And I played it at Yamava. It was the beginning of March this year, 2025. And I said I was going to take 100 spins at $1,800 a spin, all part of the slot container, right? And I told you this, we're doing a quick hit slot container this weekend, this Saturday at Foxwoods, where I'm risking $250,000 live. But part of that live, I said I was going to risk, or I was going to do 100 spins at $1,800 a spin. About 30 spins in, I get a howl. It's like buzzsaw, gold buzzsaw. That's upgraded wheel. Ended up giving me the mega hat feature, which is not a great feature to get. You want to get the super mansion, right? But I ended up getting, I think, 9 hats for $279,000. But you're like, well, the multiplier isn't crazy, right? 150x, whatever it is, a little bit more. But it's still $279,000. So it's a massive hit. And that's really the appeal, right? It's getting that outlier bonus.
But don't you think this is the problem, though, with slots? And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there listening right now being like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Because I was that person for a long time.
Yeah.
I avoided slots because I didn't understand what the hell I was doing. I was pushing a button, things were rolling, and I didn't know. But you got to play a little bit to really, and you actually have to kind of win a little bit to understand. And I still don't feel like I understand. So why do they make it so complicated? Can't they dumb this down a little bit? I don't know if maybe you don't agree with me.
I think they are dumbed down.
Are they?
Well,
but you just said you want the other max. You don't want this max. All
you need to do is push a button. That's it. So
yeah.
That's the cool thing. But do you know all the features? No, they want to make it a little bit complicated.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So then you got to keep playing to get that feature that is very tough to get, the elusive feature.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't even think people know what the elusive feature is.
That's why you watch me.
Fair enough.
Right. And that's one thing that I say. So when I start a video, I will tell people what all the progressives are, and I'll talk about and for people that watch me every day, they're like, oh, we know you need to get 6 orbs or 3 flags. Well, not everybody knows that. That's why I tell you and what the potential is. And I always tell people like, all right, we're playing Dragon Link. You can get a ball that is 250 times your bet amount, or you can see any of the progressives on top. And I always will say, if you can see the progressive on top, it doesn't matter what you bet, you're eligible for it. Not all games are like that. And I tell people and walk them through everything. That's a big reason they're watching.
Like, Lance, are we speaking a different language to you right now?
A little bit, especially when you were like talking about kind of the bonuses, why you'd want which one, why. I'm kind of like, okay, that's something that is way beyond me. We were just in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I played some slots. It was very much, I was pressing a button and I really just hoped to see similar things. And then I hope my money went up. You know what I mean? That's really kind of how I played it.
So you're going back to some of the old school 3-reel where you're like, I want to just see red 7,
yeah.
right? Or wild. Mm-hmm. Those are cool. And actually, those games are better. It's hard to see what's called a par sheet. Some are leaking around where if you play like old school double diamond, where if you get double diamond, the odds of getting that jackpot are about 1 in 40,000. But it sounds like for some of the bigger like grand jackpots could be 1 in several million to hit the top jackpot. Here's another thing, volatility. Have you heard of that with slots?
I have not.
Okay, so there's low and there's high volatility. The more volatile it is, the more difficult it is to get a really big hand pay. You'll get a lot of small ones, but if it's low volatility, you'll get a whole bunch of hand pays that are sort of in the middle. right? And you're not going to get really low ones or really big ones. They're all about the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what the range of what I can win is depending what has happened on the machine. And that's another thing I'll talk about when I'm playing.
I got to start watching, because this is a very distinct advantage you have when you're out there, because not advantage, but knowledge is power, right?
Well, I sort of know what's going to happen and what my potential outcome could be. And then people are like, they're so excited because I just got this bonus. I was like, it's not going to be a big bonus. I know it's not going to be a big bonus. And then they're like, and then I get paid, just say I'm betting $500 and I win 7,000. People are like, oh, it's so big. I was like, no, it's like winning $14 on a dollar. It's 14x. And that's the other thing. You bet big amounts like I do sometimes, you don't see the big multiplier. Like if you bet $1, you can win 1,000 pretty easily, right? If I bet $1,000, I'm not winning $1 million.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
It's very difficult.
Fox One. On Fox One, you can stream your favorite live sports so you never miss those. Did you see that? Moments. That means Fox NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, the MLB postseason, all in one place. Fox One is built for live, edge-of-your-seat plays, jaw-dropping highlights, the kind of the moments that make you shout in your living room like you're at the stadium. It's sports, news, entertainment, all streaming live the way it was meant to be watched. It's also the best way to stay locked in on your action, whether you're sweating out your fantasy matchup, tracking a parlay, or just riding the chaos live as it appears. Start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Check it out, guys. I mean, MLB postseason is right around the corner, and obviously Sunday and Saturday, you're always locked into the action. You don't want to be watching that late. You want to be watching it live. I don't know who would not want to watch sports live. It's the way it was meant to be watched, like they said, and that's true. And check out Wake Up Barstool on Fox One. I'm there on Tuesdays, and it's a fun show, so go check that out one more time, Fox One. Also, part of my cheesesteak is officially cheesesteak season. Part of my cheesesteak is serving up the ultimate game day fuel for football season. Loaded cheesesteaks, tenders, fries, and popular desserts delivered straight to your door. Whether you're watching the game or just craving some late night eats, ordering off your menu, our menu is the best way to play. That is the best play call you can make. We're talking big overstuffed cheesesteaks, loaded with steak and melty cheese, hot, fast, and ready to crush cravings. Go to partofmycheesesteak.com, use code PMC20 and score 20% off your order. That's partofmycheesesteak.com. Use promo code PMC20 to score 20% off your order. So what? Because that's another debate, right? When you talk to novice slot players, you always play the max, never not play the max. Where we stand on playing the max?
It depends on the game. So just like we talked about with like rich little piggies or rich little hens, you want to check every single individual bet amount because the size of the 3 pigs or hens are going to change, and that is important. So I even say to people, like, if I do like an advantage slot play, I might run around, look at that, or look at Regal Riches. Regal Riches, the mega or the mega games or whatever, the top games, has to hit before 125 wilds pop up, right? I don't care if it's a 75-cent bet. I'll sit there and fast tap it until it hits because I know it's going to be profitable. And that's all part of the advantage slot play. You know, and I was going to do more of that kind of stuff. Like I was going to show more videos about advantage slot play, but I don't want to get casinos upset either. I do talk about advantage games when I do play them, like Buffalo Link. Have you played that?
Yes, I've played Buffalo.
So Buffalo Link's very important. Well, there's different Buffaloes. Buffalo Gold, there's Buffalo Link. Buffalo Link is where you got the little counter on the upper right.
Okay.
It starts at 100. It has to hit by 1800 every time a Buffalo shows up. That goes up, and it randomly will trigger the free games or the hold and spin. So I'm looking for a number that's over 1,200 on there, and every time you change the bet amount and the denomination, that number changes. Okay. Phoenix Link is another new one they just brought out, or that came out about a year ago from Aristocrat. That hit by numbers 1,888, but this time you have to show the Phoenix, which is either a number or a progressive, so there's not as many of them. And after that thing hits, it randomly resets. It doesn't go back to 0. It could be a random number. I want to see that over 1,400. I would really like to see it over 1,500 before I'm going to play that machine. I play it until it hits, then I'm off.
Yeah, see, I just,
Well, you know what we should do one time? Like, I mean, we're sort of in similar circles. Like, we'll find a time. I'll take you to the casino.
I would love that.
I'll show you everything.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that'd be very helpful. Just because, you walk around aimlessly, and like I said, 99% of people are just kind of looking whatever shiny thing appeals to them.
Yep. We do something else where I find random people in a casino playing small bets, and I give them the opportunity to play big bets. It's called, take a look here. It's called Your Luck Has Arrived. So I walk around and I just see people. I look at what they're playing, and I have given up to about $5,000 to people for this, and I've had people win over $10,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they get to keep all the money at the end of the day, and people are crying. I mean, they're going nuts. So this is one of the things, like, people come up to me at the casino, ask me for money, and want me to do this thing.
Yeah.
I never will do it for somebody that asks me.
Uh-huh.
It's all random. But we're actually doing a promotion at Foxwoods coming up here October 4th. We just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which in our space, it's a big deal, right? If you have a cooking channel, it's not a big deal, right? But in our space, it just sort of happens. So in celebration, we're giving away 5 $10,000 Your Luck Has Arrived packages. All you need to do is sit on a machine at Foxwoods from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's a hot seat. So we pick random people that are playing. I go up to them. We give them 10,000 in free play, and we're playing it on a next episode of Your Luck Has Arrived right there.
That's me a big fucking day at Foxwoods.
Yep. And then also, I'm risking $1 million live that night. So $1 million between slots and table games live. My money, nobody sponsoring any of it. It's scary to me. I mean, it's real money at the end of the day, but it's all about bankroll management. But what we did is we started a push. I had about 800,000 subscribers starting July 1st of this year. And I said, if by the end of September 30th, if we can get to 1 million subscribers, I'm going to give away 5 additional $10,000 packages. All you need to do is comment on every video. So people still can enter that. If they comment on any long form video on Mr. Handpay from July 1st until August 30th, I believe, that's when we hit 1 million.
Yeah.
They get entered. So what we got a big drum with like 60 different videos in it. We're going to pick the 5 videos out, and then we're going to do a random comment generator when I'm live on October 4th. Sounds complicated, but it's really not. Just got to comment.
Yeah. So hop in on that. Go check out the channel.
We're giving away $100,000, and we're working on giving away big prizes in the future on this stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
So
that's awesome. I mean, people are always looking to win. So what? Do you still do asphalt then?
So I sold that a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And, we had, at one time, 30 employees at a time. Throughout the course of the year, 40, 50 employees we would have. I think we had, 30 to 40 trucks and trailers. It was great, but honestly, it's so hard to find people that want to pull weeds or cut grass or do asphalt. And it was a lot of hard work. That's what I did throughout high school and college. Mm-hmm. And then continued it. But there was just someone said it best. They said, no matter what you do in life, if you do it long enough, you're going to get sick of it. I don't care what you do. And they were exactly right. Right now I'm 44. I did it till I was 42, and I was like, I'm done.
And then obviously, so YouTube is your full-time job now.
Yeah. And we actually have 15 employees to do this. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a fucking squad.
Gave you another, there's another coin in there. It's like a little slot machine coin. Mm-hmm. We have Mr. Handpay Casino and Travel.com. So, at the end of the day, this is all a business, and we have to make money doing this stuff. And one of the things I looked at, they have things called junket reps. Have you heard of them?
No.
A junket rep is going to be somebody that represents individual casinos, and they get paid by the casino to bring people in. So junket reps, like, we could do it on a boat, right? We've got a cruise coming up where we have so many people coming on the cruise. The cruise line said, you can't bring any more because we don't have enough slot machines. So we had to stop. Right.
That's crazy.
So what we have at Foxwoods on October 4th, we're going to have, there's a lot of slot machines there, but I think part of our junket,
feels like impossible. There's so many slot machines.
Yeah. We're going to bring about 1,500 people through Mr. Handpay Casino and Travel. into the casino. And how do we get paid on that? Like, we've got a lot of employees. We have 4 employees just for that entity, and then some people that sort of overlap. But we get paid on people's actual loss or theoretical loss. This is very interesting. A lot of casinos would rather see you theoretically lose money than actually lose money. Does that make sense?
Not really.
No. Okay. So this is crazy. So just say you go to a casino and you win $50,000. Okay. But you played so much that you theoretically should have lost $40,000. All right. They look at the 40,000, not what you actually won. They want to see what your theoretical is. So we get paid a percentage of people's actual loss or theoretical loss, whichever is higher for us, right, as a percentage. But we would rather see players go win as much money as they possibly can and play for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense because, like you said, the longer they got you,
The better opportunity.
The better
they have to win.
opportunities for them. So
Yep.
if they see you playing that much and you won that much, odds are they're coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And, playing at the level that I play at, we get a ton of stuff for free. So, like, go to the casino, spa, shopping, Super Bowl. There's casinos that will actually pay for people's cars. You don't win a car, they'll pay for your car. I haven't had that, but I've heard of that. Or substantial amounts of free play. And that's another thing. I get free play when I go to casinos. I know people that are just players that are not influencers that get $40,000 or $50,000 in free play in a private jet.
Wow.
When they go to places, I don't get that.
Those are the whales, man.
Yeah.
You're a whale, though.
It depends in
Really?
whose eyes. It depends in whose eyes, yes.
Wow.
It's wild to me. I agree with you.
Have you been to Macau?
No.
No.
So I have a daughter. She's 10 years old.
Okay.
She is first. Like, I don't gamble when I have her. She's always my number one. So going overseas will be very tough. So
Makes sense. That's always been kind of a place me and my friends are like, we got to make it to Macau someday.
it would be amazing.
Yeah. Because if people don't know, Macau it's like Vegas on steroids, right?
Yeah, I think there's a new Wynn that's going to be going there. Isn't there?
I think you're right. There's a Venetian there, I believe.
Yeah.
They have, it's basically another Vegas,
Yeah.
but it would be interesting to go there for sure. So we're almost out of time, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah, I know, but I feel like we haven't even touched the surface. But so we'll have to do this again. But let's get into some stories here before we wrap it up because people always like to hear those.
Okay.
So the worst day you ever had, best day you ever had.
All right. Worst day.
The producer's just laughing.
Yeah. Worst day I have ever had gambling. And here's the struggle for me. So when I do my videos or when we create our videos, like people think that when we put a video out, a daily video, it's sort of like here. They probably think, oh, this was filmed right before. Well, you need time to upload, edit, and get that stuff out there. Same thing with me, right? It takes some time. So sometimes the videos are filmed a couple weeks in advance. When I go to a casino, I need to create content. So if I get too far behind, like sometimes when you feel the pressure and the stress, you don't get up and walk away. I've had it where I've lost about $300,000 in a weekend. And those are the weekends you don't create a whole lot of content, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Best days never amount to your losing days. So, some of my best days going to the casino are weekends. You go home with 100,000 or more. But I want you to realize from a theoretical standpoint, like theoretically, most weekends I'm going to lose between 75 and 150,000. Like that's what I should lose. So anytime that I'm actually even or up a little bit, that's huge. Mm-hmm. I do have a video coming out in the next 2 weeks. That is the second biggest hand pay of my life.
Okay.
So that's a pretty big deal. It's just to think about this. So like last year, hand pay. You know what hand pay is?
I do, and I bet you a lot of people don't even know what it is.
So a hand pay is any time on a single spin, and that single spin could include 50 bonus games, right? The single initial trigger, anytime you win $1,200 or more, you get a tax certificate that you have to pay. You have to report to the government, not necessarily have to pay taxes on.
They stop the race and they come out, they make you sign shit, and then.
Yep. Or they have fast pay where you can just type it in.
Oh, I've only had one hand pay in my life, so.
We'll change that when we sit down and play together. But
that would be awesome.
But so like last year, what did I hit? Like $12 million in hand pays.
Wow.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is,
12 million hand pays?
prior to this year, the biggest hand pay of my life was 100. So on a Saturday at Foxwoods, I hit $100,000. Thursday at Talking Stick in Arizona, I hit 106,000, right? Those were the biggest that I've ever hit. And you're talking, I mean, I don't know, $50 million in hand pays in my life, maybe 100. I don't even know what it is. I'd have to really sit down and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so incredibly difficult to get massive hand pays
I'd imagine.
in these casinos.
Yeah, I'd imagine. And then did you say loss? Did you say what the toughest one was?
300,000.
Yeah.
So in a weekend. I mean, I've had days where, I've had, not that long ago when I was in Vegas, I was up. I went and played for 2 hours and I lost $120,000 in 2 hours. And you're like, how could you do that? Well, real easy. Hold my beer, right? I'll show you.
Yeah,
It's
and I mean, if you're doing 5K at pole, I guess.
No.
Okay, not even.
Those aren't 5K spins. No, you're like the biggest I was doing is 400. But I want you to realize like how fast. I mean, what these machines pull in would make you sick if you start to look at that. And we can talk about that in a future episode. But
I'd imagine, dude. I'd imagine.
No, I got a lot of stuff. A lot more information. Love more questions. I'd like to see a lot of questions in the comments.
Yeah.
And we could address those in the future. And I'd like at some point to talk about what I had done recently. I think the way that you make it in social media is sort of to be a trailblazer, right? And I sold 20% of my channel to my followers.
This is wild.
Yeah, this thing called Gigastar, where I sold 20% of my channel to my followers. What I've created is I've created 3,000 brand ambassadors, 3,000 salespeople. I have an army behind me pushing Mr. Handpay to the world. I seriously am sending out bracelets to a lot of these people. It'll be bracelets, coins, other things to give away. And they are getting subscribers for me every day. I mean, right now we're getting 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers a day on YouTube. It's crazy. And I attribute it all to Gigastar and getting this army behind me.
So do you ever hear shit from them then? Is there like a downside? Like these guys are like shareholders? Is there ever videos they don't like? And they're like, what the fuck? This isn't helping the channel?
So we do have private Discord for these people. And yeah, they'll voice their opinion. And we actually, part of this whole thing is we're going to have a yearly shareholder meeting, which is going to happen in January at Foxwoods, which is part of a much bigger event. It's called Sloticon 2. Mm-hmm. But yeah, some people say they don't, some didn't agree with Jordan Emanuel being on my channel. Jordan's a great person, and they didn't agree with what I did, but they have no voting rights or anything else.
Who's that? Sorry.
The 2019 Playboy Playmate of the Year.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, you brought her up earlier.
Yeah. So, sometimes people don't like things, and honestly, for me, I'm a chess player by heart, and everything has a motive at the end of the day, right? But for me, this Gigastar thing has been a game changer for us. I mean, I did get money from everyone. And here was the thing I was scared of. I had to disclose what I've made in the last 12 months on that channel, which was about 1.5 million just on my Mr. Handpay channel. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for people to relate to that, but the support was overwhelmingly positive. So that's another thing we could talk about more in the future.
At some point. No, I'd love to get into it. Is there any other kind of stories or anything like that you typically like to tell when it comes to this kind of thing?
Well, this is the first podcast I've ever been a part of, but other stories.
Have you ever found yourself on have things ever gotten a little scary, a little hairy? Because when you deal with some of these people, it's sometimes when there's money, there's power, and sometimes with power there could be some.
It's interesting you say that. So one thing I don't do is I don't bring a ton of cash with me. I have markers and you can put money on deposit and take a check or have them wire it to your account. So I don't bring a lot of cash with me. But, driving from Chicago to Milwaukee, if you guys look at the murder rates, you're going through 2 war zones to go on your way home, honestly. And, that could get some people upset, but it's true. So I try to be very careful with everything that I do, right? And this is one reason I do not announce where I'm going to be.
Smart.
I don't want people knowing where I am. So, have I had anything where people have scared me? No. You know why? Because we're in a casino. No one's going to rob you in a casino. You know how many security guards are there? And I always am at a casino where I go right up to my room.
Are you banned from anywhere?
None at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because usually they don't like guys like you.
So, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. They would be crazy not to like me. They get free promotion and I pay them to do that. And it's important. Like Potawatomi, I was one of the top 3 players at the casino, and they got upset because I handed out this. They were like, you're not going to use our place of business to hand out your coins. But I get you 2 million views a day. We don't care.
That was their issue?
We don't care. We have a monopoly. Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm going to play at all the other casinos around you, you know? And there's other casinos, American Place, right? They've got a temporary casino. What did I lose there? $600,000 or $700,000 promoting their casino. You know, I go to Rivers. Rivers gives me absolutely nothing. I lose there overall, but they're very fair with filming, and Alex is great to work with there. But I've actually disclosed free play. I get about $25,000 a month in free play from Rivers. Potawatomi, I used to get $200 a week.
Wow,
huge difference.
Huge.
Yeah.
200,000 a week?
No, $200.
Oh, I thought I
Potawatomi, $200 a week.
Oh,
yeah, that's not even a spin.
I just assumed it was higher.
No, $200. Yeah, it's a joke. That's why I don't play there.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, there's a lot more with that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I'm not banned at any places. There would be no reason for a casino to ban me. I'm not an advantage blackjack player. I do very well playing blackjack, but I'm not splitting tens. I'm not doing crazy things because the count is a certain thing. I have too much going on to be able to do that stuff. But
also, you said that blackjack's probably your best odds. Don't they say baccarat's the best odds?
The thing I don't like about baccarat is that you have to. Yeah, I feel like you don't have a lot of control. It's like picking left or right, right, red or black. It's really just picking player or dealer.
Yeah,
and there's no rhyme or reason to what the next card is going to be.
So,
you know, Dana White does very well playing it because he's betting up to $500,000 a hand.
Do you like to watch Dana? Have you ever met him?
I have not met him. I watch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's playing, yeah, I love to watch him.
Yeah, he's fascinating.
Yeah.
The Tunnel of Chaos. I was supposed to go one time, wasn't able to make it, but that's bucket list type stuff to go over there at Red Rock and kind of see how, the sausage is made over there.
That's a good way to put it. I would love to play on a table with him at some point. And that's the thing, like, you got to put on your big boy pants to play with him, because I would have to buy in for a couple $100,000 and play with $5,000 minimum chips if you want to play with him.
Yeah, for sure. But he's just very similarly. It looks like he uses markers and stuff too. So as long as you're different, like when
it's all real money at the end of the day.
It is exactly. Like, but even the markers, when he's taking the markers, I'm like, I want to go hide under the table because I'm like, oh my god. He's taking more markers.
So he plays at the the guy with the big toga, and I think he's up like $16.5 million on them this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a nice year, but there's still 3 more months.
Yeah, and bankroll management, most important thing, right? And I think the most important thing to take from any of my videos, never play with what you cannot afford to lose. So you got to look at it as entertainment. At the end of the day, whatever you go to the casino with, don't take your rent money. Some people do that. They take all their rent money and I get 24 messages a day like, hey, I can't buy groceries for my family. Can you please send me $5,000? Here's my Cash App. I can't even respond to those messages. It doesn't make sense. I will never support, I'll never support people gambling. I don't borrow money. I refuse to borrow money to friends even for gambling. It doesn't make any sense. But if you can't pay for your mortgage because you lost your job, I'm there in a heartbeat to help my friends.
Yeah, that's nice stuff. All right then. And is there a certain day you drop all your videos, or is it just kind of random? Or
no, every day. So
every day.
Every day this is the difficult thing for what I do. It's a lot of work. It's a grind. Every day at 4 p.m. Central Time, we drop a video at Mr. Handpay. We do have Mr. Handpay TV, which is like reruns. We have The Felt Life, which 3 times a week we'll put out new videos. And we have another one called Jason Was There. We have maybe 40,000 on YouTube, and we're growing that pretty fast. We're starting to get a bunch of views, but that's my everyday life. It could be things with my daughter, going to Disney, could be going to a Michelin star restaurant with my daughter, could be going to the Super Bowl or a dive bar right down the road.
Wow. Well, go check those out. Every day is a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah. And but that we get so many views, and that's why, our channel was worth so much for the Gigastar offering, because we post so often. Yeah. And the people that watch us, if I wouldn't post, they would watch someone else. Most of the people that watch us too are on a big screen TV.
Really?
Yeah,
That is interesting.
because you can see all that stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Jason, thanks. Anything else you want to get out there? Anything else before we wrap this up?
I would love to be back on here at some time in the future.
Yeah, we should do a video first. We should,
Yeah.
I'd love to kind of see the ropes and just, walk the floor with you. That'd be fascinating.
Yeah, we could do something at Rivers one day.
Yeah.
If you're around. And actually, I'm a partner with DraftKings as well.
Yep. Shout out to DraftKings.
Yes, they're
That's
great.
that's how this happened.
Yeah.
So
I think next Wednesday we actually have to drive to Michigan because you have to be in the geofence, right? So Michigan's one of the 5 iGaming states.
Yep.
And I'm very transparent with everything. DraftKings gives me $25,000 per stream, so I'm risking $25,000 on a live next Wednesday. So I drive around and I do that. And
nice. Check that out. And
drive
then
back home.
so what is it? Michigan, Pennsylvania, the other iGaming states.
Yep, West Virginia, Connecticut, and New Jersey, but then also Ontario, Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's other iGaming states, but DraftKings is not.
Those
in
are
them
all
yet.
the ones you
There's
can
like
play
8.
iGaming
Yeah.
for DraftKings. Go
Yeah.
check that out.
And that's real regulated gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the code or I think right now if you play just $5, you get 500 total spins on Huff and More Puff, or I think it's Huff and More Puff.
All right.
With the promo code Rowdy, ROWDY.
There we go. I'll use that, Rowdy. Jason, thanks again.
I appreciate having me here. It was
Of
great.
course.
Idea. Yeah,
Glad it was your first podcast. Thanks
yeah,
a lot.
it was fun.
That's it, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll see you then.